is Eola Moore Timm. My birthday is September 24th, 1932. My parents were Glenn and Eola Moore. I only have one brother left. Glenn was the oldest, then Mary, she's gone now. Then Ben, he's still here. Myself and my youngest brother, Roger, and he was the first one to pass on. Was married in the Little Brown Church in the Vale and in Nashua, Iowa, May 31st, 1952, yeah. Have 4 children, 3 daughters and 1 son. Linda's the oldest, Cindy, Nikki, and Billy. I don't know if I know anything that helped define me, but I did have a couple of things in my past that stand out. One of those was, no, I lost it. One of those was my dad when I was still living at home, a child. We didn't have electricity in our home. We didn't have a bathroom. We had an outside toilet. But we didn't have electricity, so at night, we had a gas lantern, and he went to light the gas lantern, and it flared up like that, and he grabbed the handle and he put it around his head and he threw it out the window. Went through 2 windows. So that is one thing that I remember as being very exciting. And I was in a tornado at Grandma Timm's house, and all the family was there. The tornado lifted her house up and set it back down, but she lived on a farm, and there was a barn and a lot of outdoor buildings. Those were all blown away. And the dog was blown away too, because we never did find it. Yeah. So I had never been up to that point afraid of hard storms or bad storms, but after the tornado storms really bothered me. My nickname was Tootie because, and I think all through grade school, I don't think any one of those kids really knew that my name was Eola. But because I was nicknamed Tootie, my mother's name is Eola. And when I got to be a little bit bigger and started to talk, I couldn't say Eola, and so they were going to call me Oli Luli. And I thought, oh, I think of that now, and I'm sure glad that didn't stick. And evidently I couldn't say Oli Luli either, and it got to be Tuli and then Tootie, I guess. So that's how my nickname came about. Yeah. Bill was drafted, so he after basic training he was sent to California, and I went out there to be with him. And then he went to Alaska on a boat that took fuel, I think, to Alaska, to other Army bases. So that would have been Vietnam. Yeah, right. We were farmers at that point in time, and so we had farm chores that we had to do. Went to a 1-room schoolhouse, Children's Choice. I can remember carrying lunches, and then during the war they did serve hot meals at the school, some for a time. Okay. What?
Which war?
Which war? Must have been 2. I don't know. I was a kid in grade school.
Then it was probably World War II.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
We had some cows and some pigs and some goats, rabbits, horses. We killed pigs for eating, and every once in a while I guess we did a cow in. Yeah, they were milk cows. Feed the chickens and get the eggs and mow the lawn, yeah. Oh yeah, we had a big garden.
Okay.
And one of the things about the garden was the potatoes had potato bugs on them. And we had to go out and pick potato bugs off of the potatoes. And we put them in I think probably a tin can and put them in there. And I don't know whether we drowned them or put oil in them or what. But anyway, I think we got a penny a piece for, well, we got a penny a piece for night crawlers too. I got into no trouble. Well, see, we lived 2 miles out of town, and it was too far away from high school, actually, for me to get in. If I wanted to go anywhere, it would be after dark, and I'd have to walk and that sort of thing. So I didn't get into trouble. You hear that? Grandma with no record. I graduated high school, and before I worked at Consolidated, I worked at Preway, which of course you don't know what Preway was. They made stoves, and I worked there until I finally went to Consolidated, and I worked there until he was in the Army, and I went with him out to California. And then we transferred to Washington, and that's where Cindy was born. We didn't do much. Well, we were only married a couple of months, and then he was drafted into the Army. So, but I worked. Well, when we got married, I worked at Consolidated Papers, and they didn't approve of husband and wife working at Consolidated. I worked in the office. I delivered mail, mostly through the mail, yeah. So I would walk through the whole mill with the mail. I don't actually know where we met.
Did you go on a hayride?
We probably did, but am I actually meeting him? I don't really remember. We just met. When I was growing up, we lived on W, of course, but there was only 17 houses between where I grew up and 8th Street. So as far as buildings and people, houses, it's grown up terribly, yeah. And now when they put in new highway, well, W, when they put that on the other side of my house, for a while when I went to town, I almost had to make a map of where I was going to go and how I was going to get there. Yeah, TV, all that, I could do without TV.
Yeah, but you didn't have it when you were little.
No, didn't have it, didn't have.
Obviously indoor plumbing, right?
We didn't have indoor plumbing.
But you have that now? That's a pretty big
I
change.
sure do have it now, yeah. Yeah, you see a lot of evilness going on, but you also see goodness going on. So my family was Christian, and of course I was brought up Christian, and so that was a big part of my life, you know, going to church and into church groups and the young people's group when I was a teenager, and then later on it was Ladies' Aid, Bible study. It was later in my life that I started doing Meals on Wheels, but yeah, after Bill passed away and I was by myself, there was times when I'd deliver 4 times a week, yeah, but then later on it got down to 1 or 2 days a week, so I met people that way. Oh, crypto quips in the paper, do you know what those are?
I don't think so.
Oh, it's a thing that it's got numbers on it, and they give you 1 letter, and then you have to figure out the whole thing. And I really like doing those.
Okay. So I remember also going to your house, and on one of the bookcases, you always had a puzzle for each one of us.
Yes.
And it had our name on it.
Yeah,
So we knew when we came to your house, we'd always
Okay.
do a puzzle. you still have all of the
No.
puzzles?
No,
from all
I
of
don't.
us? No?
See, I've done puzzles a lot. I like to do puzzles. But now I'm to the point where I don't want to do 500 pieces anymore. I do 300 and under. But I still do a lot of puzzles. I enjoy puzzles. Oh, just to be patient and to love one another would be my biggest, and to come to know the Lord. I said that's a big thing in my life, that it hurts me that some of my family has not accepted Jesus into their life yet, and that's very hard for me to accept. The greatest lessons. I think to be patient is one of them. Yeah. Forgiving, yeah. Well, I just think I've lived a simple life, and I haven't expected a lot in my life. And so people are very close to me, a lot of people are. And you just learn to be patient. Doesn't get you anywhere to be impatient. Okay. I feel that my greatest success would be being a good mother, raising good kids, and just being, I don't know, myself. Oh, I have way too many grandkids.
Is that possible?
Yeah, I've got 32, and I'm expecting 2 more
And those will
in
be
the new
great
year.
grandchildren.
Those will be great grandchildren, yeah. Because I haven't done anything. I haven't had my name in the paper or anything, so. That I love the Lord. I think that is probably the thing I'd want best for my kids to know me, that I was a Christian and loved the Lord Jesus as my Lord and Savior. And that's really the only way you're going to find joy in this life, joy and happiness. Are we going to talk about the poem now?
Maybe. Did you write a poem?
I did. I wrote well, it wasn't a poem. It was actually, and I can't remember whether it was history class or English class, but to write something about the Declaration of Independence.
Constitution.
And the Constitution, yeah. And I kept putting that off until the last minute, and then it was due and I didn't have it done. And I sat down, I wrote this piece about the Constitution. And it's in the Attawagum, which is a yearbook. And when I graduated in 1950, and in the front page of the yearbook was my poem, or whatever you want to talk about it. And my grandson was, he was working on the genealogy on the TV or
Internet.
Facebook or something, and he found my work, and he brought it up on the last time we were ahead. He asked the girls, "I'm going to read something, and I want you to know who wrote it," and it was my poem. So, I guess my one big thing in high school.
She's published.
And I was looking through the Attawagum this morning, and I see that what I had turned in class, and it was marked excellent. Okay, this is my big thing in high school, was to write a composition about what the Constitution meant to me. And it goes, what my Constitution gives to me. Oh, ha, ha. It gives me freedom, freedom, freedom. Freedom of speech, religion, and press. Freedom to use what I honestly possess. Freedom to study, to live, and to learn. For these freedoms most foreigners yearn. Freedom to dance or to skate if I wish. Freedom to ski, to hunt, or to fish. Freedom to choose any kind of work, that of teacher, lawyer, banker, or clerk. Freedom to laugh, to love, and to share in any court a trial fair. All these my Constitution gives to me, with its freedom, peace, and security. By Eola Timm. Well, no.
USA!
No.
USA!
No, it was Eola Moore.
Oh, you're Lamore, sorry.
Okay, that's it. Oh, we called it a davenport, not a couch.
Right.
But it was a couch. We just called it a davenport. No, when I move, I'm gonna move in with Linda in May. So I'm trying to get rid of stuff now. Is there any of my stuff that you want?
Where you guys live?
Grandpa and I.
Hey,
Yeah, I used to carry 2 cement blocks like that. I was pretty strong then.